Today on Fatty's Feast, I'm showing you how to make the most amazing barbecue meatballs, and what makes them so amazing is we're throwing them on the Old Country Brazos smoker. Now this is an amazing meal for, parties at your house, maybe Super Bowl, which is what I'm doing this for. Now if I were to guess, this should render about 40-ish meatballs at about 3 ounces each. First off, you need a bowl, big bowl, something to mix with. Starting with 2 pounds ground beef, 80-20, and another 2 pounds ground pork. Take a guess how much I paid for this, just the meat. Just take a guess. $30. $30. That's ridiculous. Thankfully, I'm rich. No, I'm really not. But like this video, and I might be one day. Probably not, though. Next up, we have just over a half of a finely chopped onion. Get it chopped nice and fine. 2 eggs. Half a cup of panko breadcrumbs. Half a cup of the finest Parmesan. Just kidding. It's the stuff that has sawdust in it. 2 tablespoons black pepper. 1 tablespoon and a half kosher salt. 1 tablespoon garlic powder. 1 tablespoon chili powder for an added kick. Doing about 2/5 a cup of dried parsley. Then 3 tablespoons of Worcester sauce. Add a little more, why not? Y'all know what time it is now. Time to roll up our sleeves and get in here. There's no substitute for using your hands for this. You want to use your hands, get everything pretty much incorporated. And this is why I said we need a big bowl. Oh, that feels so good. I love it. Now while I'm doing this, and you can watch my meaty hands in action, I am doing this the night before. You don't have to do it the night before, but letting them set in the fridge lets them absorb some of that flavor, lets everything get incorporated. Plus, when you screw up something in the morning and your friends are hungry and you're outside still at the smoker and your food's not done, you're gonna regret not doing it the night before, not doing some prep work to get this done. All right, there's our meatball. No, I'm just kidding. Everything looks pretty incorporated. I needed that after that. That was a lot of work. Okay, so I'm just gonna put them on my tray here. What I have here is a little scoop. I'm not looking for complete evenness, obviously, but this will help me sort of get some even balls on the tray. So what I'll do is I'll just scoop them out like so. Never mind, this scoop sucks. So I'm just gonna take them with my hand. I'm looking for about that size. They don't have to be perfect. That's a good serving because they're gonna shrink down. So they're not exactly 3 ounces, but maybe like 4. What we'll do is we'll just keep mixing it a little bit as we go along just to make sure everything's still incorporated. But after a while, you should get a good feel for what you're looking for. So just keep doing this until you're comfortable with all of them. If you have some that are small, throw some more meat on, not a big deal, you have plenty of it here. But make sure you have a good incorporation of onion in all of them. I've been peeling some onion off as I go, just to make sure there's equal parts in every meatball. Like this one here, I notice is a little bigger than the others, so I'll put some on this one, make it more even. And if you need to add more breadcrumbs, feel free, that's fine too, if it's not as tacky as you'd like. And just like that, 31 perfect meatballs. I said 37, so I'm glad I didn't, what did I say? I don't even remember what I said. I'm glad I didn't make them as small as I planned to, because I got them all in one tray, and these are gonna be probably shrunk down to a perfect size when we're done with these. So I'm gonna throw these in the fridge overnight, let them set, let them rest, get the flavors incorporated, and then we'll see you back out of the smoker in the morning or afternoon, whenever I get up. It never fails. It never fails. Every time I wanna smoke something, it's snowing, there's shit dripping on me, every time, it doesn't matter. Anyway, got my football pants on, it's Super Bowl Sunday. Let's talk about the modifications like I said I would in this video. As you can see, I have my stack extension here, and I have my smoker pulled out a little bit. This is a problem. The water's dripping from the top of this thing onto the smoker. Hopefully it's not a big deal because I did season it, but you never know what's gonna happen. But what's really neat is it looks cool. I finally feel like I have like a $5,000 smoker. Looks really nice. Nice clean smoke coming out of there. I was thinking I could reposition it maybe in the middle sometime. I don't know how that's gonna work out, we'll see. Down here I did take the baffle plate out because these temps were better without it. So right here is this probe, which is now currently down here. I took it out because the hot spot is right here. It was like 600 something degrees, 700 degrees. It's too hot for that probe. I have another probe right here. That's this 326. So the hot spot is still pretty much right here. besides, right, I mean, that's the hot spot, but this is still sort of hot. And then these two temps, which are the probes here and here, have been definitely more consistent. I also have the damper closed right there. If I opened it fully, we were getting some very high temperatures right in this spot here. So the more I close that damper, the better the flow is throughout the smoker. And the top of the smoker is finally producing higher temps. It's showing 325 versus down here, the hottest spot's 317. So finally, the smoker is acting the way I want it to. The hot spots right here, the cooler spots throughout the rest of the smoker, and temperatures are much more even. So I'm taking that baffle plate out, I'm keeping it out, I don't need it, it's fine. So far these modifications look really good. Let's throw our meatballs on. So I'm throwing my Grillaholics mesh grill mat right here in the cooler spot. I'm just gonna try to evenly space these out best I can. Some of these are definitely bigger than the others. My fridge smells like a mess of Italian meat right now, and parsley and all that good flavor. And we got one awkward one. Let's put him right here. Close her up. So I'm going to keep these between 225 and 250, let them go for about 90 minutes or so. I'll probably rotate them every half hour just to ensure even cooking. I'll turn them this way and then this other way. We'll check back and see how they're looking in about a half an hour. Right, it's been about an hour. Let's see what we're working with. All right, looking good. Got some great color on these. Temps have been consistent. All right, that's exactly where I want to be. 129, 130. Let's take one over here. Wow, pretty consistent actually. Ones on the edges are going a little bit quicker. 5 degrees just about. 125, 126. We're pretty good. I'm actually shocked. Just for good measure, I'm going to rotate them. Typically, I'd use my metal mesh thing for my crisping tray for this because it just works a little bit better to rotate. But it's in the dishwasher, so it is what it is. All right, throw this back, and we are good to go. So to comment on the smoker modifications, just one more time, I'm very happy with them. The temps have been consistent from both ends of the meatballs, which is where you're going to put your briskets. And I think that this is just working out really well. I love it. The airflow is great. They're cooking evenly. You can't ask for better modifications than this. So this thing is performing like a $5,000 smoker. I could not be any happier. So let's let these go for another half hour to an hour and we'll come back and glaze them. All right, everyone, it's been about 2.5 hours. We did have the fire go out at one point, so there was a little bit of an issue, but we're back, we're smoking. Let's take a look. A little smoky, because I just put some wood on for obvious reasons, but look at that color on these freaking balls. They look amazing. So while the fire's calming down, I'm just gonna put a pan right here. Gonna add some apple cider vinegar. That looks about good. I'm going to add some barbecue sauce. You can use whatever you want. I have some Sweet Baby Ray's Sweet and Spicy. It's one of my favorites. And this was in the fridge, so we're going to let it heat up a little bit. We're going to cover our meatballs in this. So I'm just going to give this a stir. Try to incorporate some of this apple cider vinegar. Just trying to thin it out a little bit so it's not so thick. Damn, boy. Once we got that consistency, not thin, but it's not that thick. We'll start to transfer our meatballs in. We'll just do this, just coat them a little bit. And taking a look at the color on these, the Grillaholics grill mat does a great job with even cooking. I'm just giving them a quick toss, nothing too intense here. Got about halfway through, I'm gonna add a little bit more. And just a touch more, oh, that was a lot. Let's add a little bit more sauce just to even that out a little bit. There we go. That looks a little bit better. Tossing balls. This is one of my favorite pastimes. All right, that little addition seemed to be the perfect amount of sauce because it's going to thicken up a little bit. So that's what we're with. We're just going to spread them out, make sure they all look pretty good. So let me take this grill mat out of the way. With a gloved hand, I'll transfer them over here, with at least one gloved hand, I guess. I'm just going to move this sauce down, try to get it down here a little bit, even it out, because the smoker does go this way. And now I will just cover them like so. All right, so it's going to take a few minutes to get this thing back up to temp, but that should be the end of the cook. Like I said, we're going to let those go for another half hour or so, and then we'll take you inside and do our taste test. Here we are in the kitchen. Got some meatballs. Let's take a look. So I left them on for about another hour. They look amazing. We got some sauce and some fat that they're soaking in. It looks so good. Let's give them a try. And to help me do this, I have our good friend Sam here. Would you like a toothpick or would you like a bun? I have buns too. Toothpick? Because we want to make sure that these are, without a doubt, probably the best meatballs we've ever had. Here, take your pick. Some of these are underdone. I'm just kidding. They're big, thick boys, right?
Oh, am I waiting for you? Or?
No, you can do your thing.
Disgusting.
Yeah, pretty bad. I wouldn't make these at all.
It's pretty good, actually. Done with that.
Oh, you're going off camera now? Are you still? Yeah, you're still on camera. What would you add to them? Anything?
A little more salt.
Yeah,
Not bland.
Well, no, they're not bland, but they got a little bit of a smoke ring, like on the sides there. Just a touch, not too bad, but
Probably go good with some mustard on it, maybe. Bun, little mustard, maybe some peppers.
if I didn't accidentally dump a bunch of apple cider vinegar in there, maybe a little bit better.
I think it's pretty good.
And that sauce is just, it's a little bit thin. It's thinner than I like. So I'm not upset. I mean, these came out great, but at the same time, if I didn't dump all that apple cider vinegar in there by accident, we'd probably be in good shape. Maybe a little bit more barbecue sauce. But I'm going to throw these in the warming tray, waiting for people to come here. Even though we've been here since 2 o'clock drinking, I don't know what's going on. Maybe I have no friends. Maybe everyone hates me. I don't know. But, hey, this came out great. So, if you want to make meatballs, you can't go wrong with making them on the Old Country Brazos smoker or any smoker you have, pellet, the Weber Smoky Mountain, whatever you have. It doesn't matter. Just make them on the smoker. They're going to be the best meatballs you've ever had. So, with that being said, I love you all. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, everyone, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. It was cold out today, so stay warm, as I always say. And let's look forward to spring. Stay tuned.